All right, we're just going to talk about a couple of basic momentum things today. You're going to do a lab, and then we'll elaborate a little bit on the lab and some momentum things next class period. So you should have completed the web quest by now. If you have not completed the web quest, then you should go and look at that. The quiz today is over the web quest. So if you've done both of those, then you're fine. You're ready to move on. Then you should know what momentum is. So momentum is kind of a measure of the motion of an object. So only moving objects have momentum. We calculate momentum with the equation. First of all, if you have not been taking written notes, remember you can use them on the test. And you should be taking notes somewhere in a notebook or on notebook paper on the practice problems you're going to do. You should be taking notes somewhere. All right, so momentum is calculated by taking mass times the object's velocity. So obviously, if the object is not moving, you would be taking its mass, multiplying that by 0, and you would get a momentum of 0. So only moving objects have momentum. The variable for momentum is a p. It comes from back when they first were discovering momentum and talking about it. And so there's lots of resources online if you want to know why it is a p. But we are going to use a p, and it's a lowercase p, not to be confused with the capital P that we use for power. The units are kilograms, meters each second, which is basically what you're multiplying together in the equation. Mass times velocity. So, they don't have any special units like energy did with a joule or power did with watts, or forces did with newtons. It's literally just a kilogram meter each second. And then when we talk about impulse next time, there are another set of units you can use that mean the same thing. All right, so to calculate the total momentum of a system, you just add up the momentums of the individual objects. So the momentum for a system is just the momentum of object 1, oops, that wasn't supposed to be an I, plus the momentum of object 2, plus the momentum of object 3, so on and so on, depending on how many objects you have. Most of the examples we're going to do in class are only going to have 2 objects in them, so we just add them together. So here you have the momentum of A and the momentum of B. Well, the whole system in total has those 2 momentums added together. So the total momentum of this system here, of these 2 blocks, would be 60 kilogram meters each second. If it's going in the opposite direction, you have to be careful with sign. So you would subtract it because one is a positive direction, one's a negative direction. So just like we added vectors before, we add momentum vectors the same way. Because momentum is a vector quantity, so it has a size or a magnitude and a direction. So for the second case here, if we add those momentum together, we get a momentum of our total system of a negative 10 kilogram meters each second. And we'll talk some more about that total momentum and how that should change or remain the same next class period. All right, for the lab activity today, you are going to have a handout that looks like this. You're going to be doing a simulation lab for this. There is a link to the website you need in the module in this assignment. So there's the link there. All right, we'll take a look at what this simulation looks like. All right, when you click on the link, you're going to see this will probably be small, or it'll say Launch Interactive. Click on Launch Interactive, and then you can use, there should be a little arrow somewhere at the top right corner of the little box, and you can press that, and it will take you to this bigger screen, okay? I am trying to, okay. So, I don't know how to get this little toolbar out of here. I don't know if you see that there. That's just on mine. But anyways, all right. So, you're going to have this red cart and this blue cart. So, in your table, you have a left cart and a right cart. So on our simulation, the left cart is the red one. So anything that it talks about doing with the red cart, that's going to be the red one. The right cart is the blue one. Oh my goodness. So anytime it tells you something to do with the blue cart, you're going to do it to the one on the right. All right. Okay, the other thing you're going to want to look at are these masses. So a single M on our simulation, I'll show you what it looks like on there, is going to be the 1 kilogram. Okay, so on your table, M is equal to 1 kilogram. So this one says to do 3M, so you need that one to have a mass of 3 kilograms. Okay, pay attention to the arrows here. So the arrows are going to indicate direction. If there's no arrow, it means the initial velocity is 0. And that one's not going to be moving. Okay. Pay attention to the size of the arrows. The longer the tail on the arrow, the faster it should be going. And make sure you're using plus and negatives to show your direction. Okay. So ignore this little mass equals 0.5 kilograms because we can't do that in our simulation. So on our simulation, we can change the mass by selecting these. You can arrow over or use your mouse and select your mass. It'll tell you right here what you selected for your mass. Here, this little dial here, you can change the velocity by pressing either the left one to decrease it or the right one to increase it, okay? Now, notice once you get past 0, so there's a 0 in here somewhere, if you keep clicking the left, it's going to go to a negative, okay? This is a screenshot, so it's not going to show you that right now. All right, last thing you need for the lab is this part at the bottom. Now, this is an oversimplification, okay? So, this is technically a perfectly inelastic collision, okay? And that's because they are going to stick together. So, on your table where it says bounce or stick, if it says stick, you're choosing the inelastic collision. If it says bounce, you're going to use the elastic collision. And then after you have done the first side of the page, you're going to go on the back and you're going to choose the explosion and you're going to see what that looks like. Okay, there's only 2 to do for the explosion. And you'll be able to figure those out. Okay, there's a couple of things you need to write down. So if we were doing the example that's shown in this screenshot, they each have a 1 kilogram mass. And one has a velocity of 5 meters. The other one has a velocity of negative 5 meters. You're going to fill those in here. So the velocity of the left one, those are all going to be the red. So for this situation, they want you to start with 0 because that's what no arrow means, is 0 velocity. Well, we just talked about momentum being mass times velocity. So if this has a mass of 1 kilogram and a velocity of 0, it has a momentum of 0. Then it's asking for the cart on the right or the blue cart. Okay, so initially, if we were using the example from the other screen, we would have a negative 5 meters each second for the red car. We would calculate its momentum using the 1 kilogram times the negative 5, so it's a negative 5. They have the units at the top, so you don't need to worry about adding units in here. There's not a lot of space. They put the units up here for you. All right, so negative 5, those are really awful 5s. Let me rewrite those. Okay, so negative 5. So negative 5 momentum, since it had 1 kilogram of mass. And then the total momentum is just the momentum of the cart on the left plus the momentum of the cart on the right. That gives you your total momentum, just like we talked about in that previous slide. So in this case, my total momentum would be a negative 5. Then you're going to go over here and you're going to click start, which is right here. And the carts are going to move. We change that to 0 The carts are going to move, they're going to run into each other, and then you're going to see something happen. And it's going to give you some final velocities that you're then going to go back to the table and fill in. Again, the red here and the blue one here, and then you're adding them together for the total. Multiply the mass times the velocity, get the momentum of each individual cart, and then the total over here. Okay, one last piece of information. Round to the nearest whole number. No decimals. Decimals is going to mess you up. Okay, so round to the nearest whole number and for your momentums. Okay, all of your masses are going to be whole numbers. All of your velocities are going to be whole numbers. So round to the nearest whole number when you multiply them and you add them together. Okay. All right. That's all you need to know for the lab. Once you have finished the lab, there's a set of practice problems. So let's look at those real quick. This is what your momentum practice is going to look like. So, they're talking about the momentum at the top. They're giving you units. This one right here is called impulse. And impulse is just the change in momentum. Okay, so your equation for impulse is right here, where F is equal to force. J stands for impulse. And T stands for time. Okay, we don't use I for impulse because in more in-depth physics, we do stuff with rotational inertia, and they use an I for inertia. Okay, so most of these are pretty straight plug and chug. So you should always be labeling your givens. So the 35 kilograms, kilogram tells us that's a mass. And here's my momentum. They tell you that that's momentum and calculate its velocity. So momentum equals mass times velocity. So we would have a negative 450 equals 35 times the velocity. You divide both sides by 35 and you will get your velocity. Okay. Most of these are self-explanatory. Find the momentum, just mass times velocity. Okay. Inertia is directly related to mass. Okay, so if something has a large mass, it has a large inertia. Okay, so the more mass something has, the more inertia it has. So those questions are asking you about that. You're just going to look at how much mass it has. Okay, and a lot of these are just comparing different things. We will post an answer key, and the back talks a little bit more about impulse. And it has you doing some calculations for impulse. I do not know why they have I's here, though. These should be J's. Because that's what he's talking about. So I don't know why those look like I's. Those should be J's. Okay? And so try those. You have some answers here already. So keep that in mind. I believe that should be a J too. You shouldn't have any I's for impulse. But we will do a more thorough answer key. We'll post that, and we'll probably do a short video explaining some of the problems. All right, if you have any questions, let me know, and I would be happy to help you out. Have a great rest of your day.